Okay, recording this video on Saturday, the 18th of May, 2024, just gone 7:32 p.m. Chicago time. Do hope you are doing well. So it's the weekend and time for another weekend futures market recap. We'll go through 15 of the largest futures markets and I'll show you what I'm seeing on my charts. What a week that was. Hope you traded it well. So up and away on a whole bunch of markets. We got equities up, we got Forex up, we got gold, silver, Bitcoin up, natural gas up. Anyway, it's across the board. It was a pretty strong week, with the exception of the ags, and I've got to do a little bit of a mea culpa later in this video about the ags. I was super excited last week, but didn't pan out. I had reversals on the ags, so we'll talk about those charts. Equities first, E-mini on the daily chart, and I'll also show you the NASDAQ chart. And as usual, I'm telling you we're in an uptrend because the background's in red on this chart. That means in terms of price and volume, we're in an uptrend, and the trailing stop is miles away. So I've been saying this for weeks, months, anyway, a long time. But this week we did run into a little bit of trouble as we're making these new highs. We have RAMBO patterns. RAMBO stands for a potential reversal of an amateur breakout, RAMBO. We always look for the low of the amateur bars that lead to this sequence as an important turning point, which is down here. So the low as that is 5,233. So it's a ways away, 80, 90 points away, but that's going to be an important level to watch going forward. We have run into a pullback to end of trend on the daily chart here on the lowest time frame, which is syncing up with an end of trend on the highest time frame here. So normally I'd be pretty bearish about that, but remember we are ways above the breakout level, the resistance on the intermediate time frame. So we do have to go see pullback to end of trend on that intermediate time frame. So this week we could have a little bit of profit taking. As we go down the charts, you'll see that we're potentially topping out a little bit to have a profit take, and then we'll catch and go to new highs, my guess, because this isn't all over because of these patterns. A bit clearer on the NASDAQ chart here in terms of better pro-am. Nice. The bottom was formed down here with these are the big pro bars, the new indicators, which we're releasing actually Sunday for TradeStation only at the moment. Just we got that sorted. The Ninja Trader will come later. But big pro bars here, that means extra high average trade size. So there's the professionals getting set down here at whatever that level was, 12,000, 13,000, bang. We take off to the upside. Sign of strength in terms of better pro-am. The last little dip down, we had blue professional bars by the dip, which is great. We rally away here to a RAMBO pattern on this chart. But when you look at it in terms of Better Sinewave on this, you can see how that low we had sign of strength on Better Sinewave here, and we broke. Let me just disable this. We broke above resistance. Big things happen at triples. We had triple resistance on Better Sinewave here, and we either had big bounces or big breaks. We broke here into a strong uptrend. We were breaking above resistance on the highest time frame, resistance on the intermediate time frame. Then we came back, we made pullback to end of trend on the intermediate time frame, and we've just put in the pullback to end of trend here on the lowest time frame. We are well above the resistance on the intermediate time frame, and we're well above resistance on the daily time frame. On this chart, we put in a pullback to end of trend here, pullback to end of trend on that highest time frame. On the NASDAQ, not so. So we've still got that to put in before this thing is all over on the upside. It just shows the strength of the NASDAQ market at the moment, super strong. And I'm going to be looking for that pullback to end of trend on the intermediate time frame, just like we had here. I mean, it signaled a couple of times. We had breaks here, but it didn't go anywhere. And then the next time we had pullback to end of trend on the intermediate time frame there with a nice pullback to end of trend back here in 2021. That signaled a nice top, and then we came back here to find support. So we've still got a ways to run before those things pan out. But as we go down the time frames, you'll see that this could cause a little bit of trouble this week. So anyway, 135-minute chart, there we go. There's the RAMBO patterns on here. Bang, bang, bang. Background's in red. We're broken into an uptrend in terms of price and volume, so it's all strong on the 135-minute chart here. 45-minute chart here. Now you can see the trailing stop is miles away on Better Pro-am. So we've got to go see blue professional bars. They bought the dip down here, and big pro bars, super high average trade size, comes in here on the dip. They don't buy the low necessarily. Sometimes you see it right at the low, but they're looking at levels. They're looking at the 5,100. They're saying, yep, 5,050 down here. That's the level to buy. Jiggers around for a little bit, then step in again, blue professional bars, and we take off. We have not seen that on the upside. Yes, we've got an end of trend here, which is pullback to end of trend on the highest time frame here, but we don't have the same thing going on in terms of trailing the stop on the 45-minute chart. 15-minute chart. Here you can see we have trailed the stop up. Here's some blue professional bars coming at the highs with an exhaustion pattern, exhaustion sell, people anxious to get out of that. But in terms of signals on the Better Sinewave on the 15-minute chart, nothing yet. We've got one little sign of weakness up here on the 15-minute chart and Better Pro-Am. But we do not have the same thing happening on the 15-minute chart, Better Sinewave. So this has got us to go see pullback to end of trend on that intermediate time frame. You can see how we have a breakout level here. The support, there's a nice one. A triple comes in, big things happen at triples, and we bounce off this one. Big things happen at triple comes in, and we break through this one. So there's a sequence to these. You go from support, and then you finally get a breakout into trend. Trend breakouts 1 in 3. Versus bounces off supports resistance. But this has got to go play itself out, pull back to end of trend on the 15-minute chart. Then when we go down to the 13,500 tip bar chart, same thing. So on this time frame we see all those blue professional bars at the highs, big pro bars up here, exhaustion buy, bearish divergence, that's nice, with a sign of weakness at this point here, but we don't have confirmation from Better Sinewave in this time frame. This has got to pull back to end of trend on the 13,500 tip bar chart. But this week we could get that. We could have a little bit of weakness, find that support when these lines come down together, bounce from there, and then that high with a pullback to end of trend on the 13,500 tip bar chart. That will be an interesting point. And again, this week we got some news, I think it's at NVIDIA kind of coming out with results that will cause quite a lot of volatility in the market whichever way the number goes, and we'll see how that plays out. Could be a nice spot for that pullback to end of trend to play out on this tip bar chart. So there we go. That's the Emini, the Nasdaq, top to bottom. So this week's going to be an interesting week to see if we get a little bit of profit taking after that top's being made. Let us talk about the Forex chart. It's going to do the Aussie daily chart, then British Pound daily, and the Euro chart, because these are looking really interesting. This is the new setup for the better indicators with the 460-minute chart and the daily chart side by side, and then we've got everything in terms of volume, better pro-am, better momentum on one chart, everything in terms of price with Better Sinewave on this chart. What we're looking for is these arrows, signs of strength or signs of weakness. And we have a nice sign of strength down here. We get another sign of strength on the lower time frame. We have a whole bunch of blue professional bars coming up, and we're breaking above those highs. We're at 67 on the Aussie dollar. It didn't come up with a sign of strength here, but it was a cyclical support in the highest time frame on the daily chart here, and we're breaking above that. And the background's in red. So in both these charts, the background's in red, which means in terms of price and volume, we're in an uptrend. And we also have big pro bars going on here. So on the dip down here, you can see back in October, professionals very happy to get in at 63, 64. Bang, they just wait around. We run into trouble with the RAMBO patterns. The amateurs getting excited at that break. No, we come back to test. There's a nice little testing pattern down here into this area where we've got our support on Better Pro-Am, and then the blue professional bars come in the last couple of days. So Wednesday, Thursday is super important there in terms of buying that breakout. So they're buying the dip and they're buying the breakout. So it's a bit of a U-turn here. So this is breaking above on the lower time frame, intermediate and low time frame again into an uptrend. This is not going to be over until that support runs to resistance, and probably this support on the higher time frame runs to resistance. So for me this is interesting. I'm long Aussie at the moment, held it through the volatility this week, and I'm thinking about moving my profit target out because this is getting interesting. So 70 is the next level, or the high above this RAMBO pattern here, which is 69. That's super important. So we're 2 cents away from that. That's a big move in Forex. So let us see if the Aussie dollar rallies hard. We also have the British pound doing a similar thing. So signs of strength on the lower time frames here and here. It's just a regular support on the intermediate time frame down here that we've broken above, but we do have the background turned red here. So in terms of price and volume, we had a nice little exhaustion sell, bullish divergence comes in, we've broken above the blue professional bars, and this is where they got in at the lows on the British pound here, and this is when we had the run on gilts. Gilts are the UK equivalent of government bonds. 105 down here was perfect spot, big pro bars, a lot of volatility. The professionals say, yep, this is trade of a lifetime, going to buy British pound down here at 105, and we've been fussing around ever since trying to figure out the break point. And now I think we've had enough confirmation with blue professional bars. There were none down here at the lows, so exhaustion, sell, bullish divergence. RAMBO patterns again ran into trouble. Amateurs getting excited here, and they forced it down. Blue professional bars selling it down and then picking it up here, and then picking it up because we broke back above the highs there. So British pound looking interesting as well. Euro, not so much. Yes, on the lower time frame we have some signs of strength On the daily chart here, signs of strength, better pro-am, but this is what's got me concerned. It's amateur up bars on the euro here. And the last time we saw blue professional bars, they were on the retrace with a stair-step trade here leading to that weakness. So that's not great. That's under the lip here. So if we'd seen blue professional bars at the lows, that would have been terrific. But we saw them here last. So that's not what we should be seeing on the euros. So the Aussie and the British pound are doing well. The euro, not so much. And let's see if there's a bifurcation in the Forex markets, because they usually move in lockstep. So then let's talk about some of the tick bar charts. We're going to talk about the 10 years. 10 years this week. So the beginnings and the ends of the week are marked by these solid yellow vertical lines. And you can see here we ran to highs, but big blue professional bars coming at those highs. We test with amateur up bars, bang, break into a confirmed downtrend. Backgrounds in grey, that means we're in a downtrend in terms of price and volume. Nice little stair-step trade here. Blue professional bar comes in on that pretty small little retrace, bang, and we keep on heading down. And yeah, nice signals on these highest time frame charts for short trades on the 10-year. Next, let's look at gold. Yeah, gold and silver took off this week. So this is at the beginning of the week. Came into the lows, and blue professional bars step in. We take off to the upside. Some profit taking here on the dip. Come back again. We're pressing to new highs, but it's getting a little bit toppy up here at 24.20 on gold. So let's see. We need some blue professional bars to come in on a spike before having a little bit of profit taking. Stop is still miles away. We've got to go see blue professional bars kind of come in on a spike higher, but that'll be interesting to see where that trades this week. Silver, whoa, silver's almost up at 32. And you can see here the breakout. Big things happen at triples. Bounces or breaks. Here's the triple, comes in, support comes in. We had sign of strength on the 750 tip bar chart, sign of strength here, and we just took off to the upside, bang, bang, bang. And it's getting a little bit exponential at the moment. But again, the stop is quite a ways away, and we hadn't seen blue professional bars since the big pro bars here under 30. And we continue to break higher. Bitcoin also had a nice week. So last weekend it was looking weak, and then with midweek activity, here's the beginning of the week here, midweek activity, big pro bars come in on that dip, they hold it at 61, and we break out of that zone. Backgrounds in red, no blue professional bars yet. We've got a lot of cyclical resistance all coming in together there, but there's no blue professional bars, so we could easily bust through a 67 up here until we see those blue professional bars starting to take profits. Crude last weekend, I was pretty bearish on crude, but it kind of bounced this week down at 77s. Blue professional bars come in, not a whole bunch of them down here. It would have been nice to see a similar pattern to this on crude if we had big pro bars come in the super high average trade size, but it wasn't. It's a sign of strength here, and we bust out of that confirmed uptrend in crude. So crude is starting to rally. Natural gas also broke into a big move this week, so you have to go back. There's a lot of activity in natural gas. Here we were setting up beginning of the week, blue professional bars. We break above the highs of that, bang. Now it's trailed the stop up here, which is interesting. We're getting a little bit overcooked on natural gas, but that was a nice break for this week. We're excited about ags last weekend, but they just fell out of bed this week. So this is the beginning of the week's activity on the tip bar chart, the 900 tip bar chart here. Exhaustion buy, RAMBO patterns ride those highs. So the rally continued on, but then we got these signs of weakness come in, cyclical resistance on the highest time frame, and we break into a confirmed downtrend, background in grey, bang, bang, bang. They just headed down. Corn took a tumble. And what I'm looking at on the daily chart here is this pattern where we've come around with the big pro bars setting in there. That ain't great, and I'm way too early on this, because when we look at the daily chart here, we hit this resistance on the intermediate time frame. We've got to put in pullback to end of trend and start breaking into an uptrend to have some signs of strength like this down here at the lows. So that's early in terms of corn. So on the bigger picture, corn has still got to put in those bottoms before things turn around. Now, next chart is wheat. Similar thing on the tip bar chart here. You can see the 600 tip bar chart, beginning of the week. We continued the rally, and then into those highs, big pro bars come in there. You can see the backgrounds. Blue, exhaustion buy, blue professional bars at those highs. We get our signs of weakness here, and we drop off into a downtrend. And then when we look at wheat on the daily chart, this is looking better. So here we have put in a pullback to end of trend on the lowest time frame, syncing up with cyclical resistance, and we've got a support here. So this little breakout that we've had temporarily is interesting. So It's run its course so far up to 700 or so, and the big pro bar is kind of happening there. Let's see what happens. It's going to test back in to this region, and then if that holds and then we start to break back up above 700, then that'll be better. But too early on calling a continuation of that breakout this week on wheat. And lastly, just to round out the picture, soybeans on the tip bar chart here. Soybeans having a little bit of trouble. Up here we got blue professional bars, exhaustion buy, sign of weakness come in, possibly have to play this out, pull back to end of trend on the lower time frame here. But let's see if we can't get through this level here, 1231-ish, and whether it turns around and has a little bit of a run to the downside. So there we go, a little bit of a random mix of charts this weekend. I hope your trading is going well. So I think we're going to have an exciting week next week. Equity indices and a potential little profit-taking opportunity at the highs might be on the cards. And let's see if we get a continuation of the breakout in Forex charts, Aussie dollar and British pound, to see where they go this week. Anyway, so there we go. That's it from me. Hope your trading is going well, and good luck with your trading next week.